What's up, guys? I'm going live. Let me get my sissy. As soon as I figure out how to add her. 1 second. I'm super excited, guys. I hope y'all are doing good.
So, I totally started the live on my account. Hi! Hello! Miss, I'm on the bestsellers list this morning. I am so proud of you. This is so exciting. This is so exciting. And you know what's really crazy is yesterday we said you should do a book on getting your bag. Teaching women how to
have
get
more
their bag.
self-love and how to focus on building their business. Get it together. Get it together.
Right,
Get your personal
right.
credit, your business credit, your ambition, your focus with intent.
I love it.
In a nutshell.
I absolutely love it. All right, so talk to us about this book.
Guys, so I'm super excited. So let me just tell you kind of like the journey of the book. Let me grab it real quick. So this book right here, this cover, this is not the cover that you guys see as far as the best-selling. What does it say? Oh, I don't know what that is. This is how this book started. So basically, guys, I have like a million notebooks with writings. I write down everything with content, poetry, short stories, just random thoughts, motivation, inspiration. That is basically the basis behind this book. This particular book is a poetry book, and I took a moment to reflect. When the pandemic took place, I went back in my timeline of poetry that I wrote about my significant other, about my husband, and I just analyzed. I'm very big on self-reflection, self-evaluation, self-love. Like what mindset was I in? Like how did I grow from this? What was I feeling when I wrote this poetry, and where am I at now? So that's basically my focus behind the majority of my writing. I'm working on something now as far as like how to turn your social media posts into a book. You could by using
repurposing your content, right? Which is a huge marketing strategy.
Yes. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I've been like counseling people for years and didn't even really like realize it. And it's just basically from writer to author, from author to publisher. I have my own publishing company titled The Words of My Soul LLC. And it's just basically everything that is important to me, I put in my writing. And it's just a matter of organization. And what I did was I organized this. I was just like, man, this one's going to be poetry and I'm comments from the author. And then I'm so looking forward to just the next books. But the book that made it to on the top 100 bestseller list, I did a redo of this book because this is my first book cover. And I was like now when I look at it, I'm like, because I didn't know, but it doesn't matter. I tried. I did it. I put it out there. And the people who really didn't care about analyzing the book cover and actually read the content and saw the content and watched some of my videos where I read some of the content was like, whoa, that's kind of deep, And I redid the cover and I turned it into an interactive book. What is an interactive book? You're probably wondering. I want people to not only just read my words, and I say this before, I want you to consume them. And how do you consume my words? You consume them by being able to position yourself to ask yourself some of those important questions. You know what I mean? Like, what are your thoughts as far as a lot of people probably are trying to rush people into feeling the way they feel in a relationship. Maybe you're here in a relationship, the other person's here, and you're trying to force them, but you really don't need to do that. You just need to focus on being you. And if that person is for you, they'll be there,
Right.
And I'm just an advocate of free will, self-love, being a good person, being honest. This is like my honest. This is like
tell me who's really going to get good valuable content out of this. Who is the woman that would read this that this serves?
The woman this serves, or the guy, because this is a unisex book. This is for both.
So this is someone that's at a certain point of life, not necessarily a female at a certain point of her life would
I would say
get advantage out of it?
Someone maybe 25, between the ages of 25 and 45, this book will resonate with you. Because I say 25 because you've had some experiences. You might be a single mom. You might have had some heartbreak. You've had your heart broken once, at least once, you know. As far as men, you want to be valued.
Wait, let's not move on to the guy yet.
We talking about the women. Okay.
Yeah, no, let's start with the women. We can move on to the guys right after. I want you to tell me, what is this female feeling in the moment that this book is going to enrich her life? What is she feeling in this moment? Where is she in life?
She's thinking about, man, did I overreact in that situation? Man, did I try to rush this situation? Man, did I really take a moment to think about, me and what I deserve? She's thinking about, that's not really my fault, but this is my fault. She's thinking about a situation, a relationship that she's in, that it does not serve her. She's thinking about how many opportunities as far as love did I pass up because I wasn't ready. And she's also thinking about, am I blaming someone else for my journey, for my path? Because we all have a path. We all got to go through our own stuff, right? And sometimes it's easier to blame somebody else for where you are in life, where you are in your relationships, you know what I mean? Versus looking from within, searching from within. So
taking accountability.
That woman, that's who this is for. That woman who, man, you're having bad luck in love, and you're going through all these things, but the common denominator is you're going through all these different relationships, but maybe for the wrong reasons. Maybe you don't know self, because if you don't know self and you're not happy with self, there's no possible way it's going to work in a relationship. You have to be good with yourself first. You have to know yourself.
So would you say it's safe to say that it's someone who's questioning their path, questioning their decision making, questioning what's next, how to grow?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And then
and who's the guy? Who's the guy that would benefit from this book?
The guy that would benefit from this book is someone whom, first of all, men need to understand that there are women out there. There are women out there that will value them, right? And there are women out there who will understand what their role is. And for the guy who is wondering, like, man, where I'm doing all these things, but I love women, but that guy that really doesn't have his priorities in order, but wants better for his life. He does want those things. He wants money, right? He's focused. He has a purpose, but he's missing something. Something's missing, and maybe it's not him, and maybe he's not being selective. Maybe he's not making the best choices as far as who he chooses to be in a relationship with, right? But then again, maybe he did make the right choice as far as who he chose, but he's not taking care of himself. He's missing something, but he doesn't quite know what it is. And so to dig into the mindset of a woman, me, the author, can take myself out of the equation and speak from a male perspective. Even though I'm not a guy, I'm very intuitive and very, I'm very effective in my communication. It's not a one-sided thing. So it's to understand the difference, for one, between a man and a king. So a man that is thinking that, man, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, I'm paying for these things. It's not necessarily just a financial thing. You do have to be there for a woman emotionally. You do have to support her. She also has to support you as well. It's not a one-side thing. You're not responsible for everything. So that guy that's like, yeah, I'm doing all of these things, but something's missing. It could be a part of the choice of who you
almost maybe like a guy who feels like he's running on a hamster wheel and not getting anywhere in his relationship or his career, or isn't sure what his path is supposed to be.
Yeah, and then he might not really understand what it means to be loved, unconditional love by a woman. Like a lot of things as far as like what's going in the world today, these materialistic things, like things that don't matter. Like when you really get down to it, I tell you, just briefly, the pandemic really made some people think about their relationships. really made some people like, man, does this serve me? Do I need
Not
to
just
audit? You know?
relationships.
Yeah.
Everyone was second guessing their path, their role in life.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that the book, you know, the words of my soul, it's speaking to those people, like for those things, those moments that made you had to stay home. You could not go to work. You got to be in this environment. So now that whole, yeah, I'm working late, yeah, I'm not coming home today, I'm be home late so I could just sleep, because you really don't like your environment, for real, for real. So
Mm-hmm.
it forced you to deal with life. It forced you to
You know what
face
it
your
felt like?
situation.
You know what it felt like? It felt like, because during the pandemic, I binged on like every criminal or jail show. It felt like we were stuck in solitaire, and we were forced to deal with our demons. And we were
Yeah.
forced to really take an inner look at ourselves and figure it all out. So I definitely can relate to someone who would need your book, because it was, like I said, it was solitaire. I was
It
stuck
made
figuring
you
me out.
comfortable being uncomfortable. You had to get comfortable being uncomfortable. And that's the bottom line.
Right.
Because that's another thing. Like, that's it right there.
Yeah.
My book, it forces you, like, you gotta you know your truth, live in your truth. And that's what I did. There were moments in the book where I was like, man, it's me. I'm not ready. I'm not
Right.
ready for this caliber of a man, because I'm in these situations. Why I'm in these, what am I doing associating with the type of men that I was associating with that did not serve me? I'm not ready for him, because I got to figure out what am I attracting? What is it about me that is allowing me to attract this type of energy? And
Right.
I had to start removing certain things from my life. And as I removed those things, he and I elevated. And there were some things with him that he didn't even, he's military, traveling overseas, don't get too attached, don't be, it made him like, wait, I'm going to have to take a moment and be emotional and take something in. I'm going to have to take a risk too, in order for me to know, like, I deserve this as well.
Right.
So we as people, we all go through these different experiences and different things that maybe we block certain things. We just don't, we just, it's just all
Traumas.
energy, the trauma, and we
Mm-hmm.
don't address the trauma. And my writing, for me, that's my way of healing trauma, speaking about it, analyzing it. Well, what are you thinking, Destiny? When someone tells me something that what my husband said to me, and this will probably be in another book, he said, you're a good starter, but you're not a good finisher. And when he first told me that, I was in the middle of, like, I hadn't written the book yet. It hadn't happened yet. A light bulb went up, and I was like, yo, I can't be mad at him. But as people, when people tell us something, we're so quick to be mad and blame them and, mad. Like, how could he say that to me? But is it true? Was it
Right.
true? Was I a great starter? Not a great. How many projects had I started but not finished? How many notes do I have about this book, this guide, all of these different things? I've even talked
But
to
where
you,
was the follow through, basically?
Yes, because my mind is filled with ideas, but that's where time, effort, action comes into. I
So
put in the time,
I gotta
I
tell
put
you
in the
something.
effort.
Someone said something to me one day. They said being a creative and intelligent at the same time is a cursing and a blessing.
Yeah.
We are good at everything. We don't know where to focus it, though. And sometimes when you don't know where to focus it, we start a whole bunch of different projects, and they're all great ideas, and they probably would all be fruitful if we finished one.
Yeah.
So I'm
Focus with
so
intent.
happy that one of your now accomplished projects, right, is the book, because I personally did not finish it, but I did buy it. And but I knew who it was speaking to, and that's why I wanted you to speak on that today, because um it's definitely for someone who is soul searching.
Yeah.
I think the title is great because it's somebody who's soul searching.
Yeah.
So I love that. And did you name your publishing company the same
I
thing, right?
named it. I was very strategic with that. I pondered over that, and I was just like, man, everything I do, even the singing, the writing, the podcast, the motivation, it's all the words of my soul. And I was just like, I want to build something to invite other people who have something to say, who have a voice, who have, I want it authentic. Like, I want to help people do that.
So how do you make it interactive in a book?
So interactive is basically asking questions. So asking you those, what do you think? Like, what I want you to dig back into your past, and what was your first encounter with XYZ? How did you feel when this person, what's making you, what's attracting you to this person? If this relationship you're in and you're not happy, what's making you happy? Making you ask those questions that we fail to ask ourselves sometimes. Sometimes we are in these long relationships, these abusive relationships sometimes, mentally abusive, verbally abusive, physically abusive. But we're in these situations and you're like, I love this person. I know they love me. I know they, no. No. And you're not asking yourself those questions. Sometimes we have friendships that we're in, people that are around us, and we're not asking, is this reciprocated? Is there reciprocity existing in this situation? Am I doing more? Am I giving more than I'm receiving back? And in my friendships, am I giving more than I'm receiving back? In these jobs that we give our sweat and tears for? What am I getting back? And because you're not asking yourself those questions, you're not properly auditing your relationships. You're not properly auditing your situation where you are in life. And that's why you get stuck. That's how you get stuck. So interactive, meaning I want you to interact with me. I'm going to give you the words of my soul, but I want you to consume these words by asking these questions to yourself in reference to your situation, to make you think. All it takes is a question that maybe nobody asked you and you didn't ask yourself. So I'm going to ask you. So what happened?
So when do you end a chapter with a question to make people think, to make people reflect?
Yeah, the interactive. So the first book was just more so, all right, these are my comments on me self-reflecting for me. But the second, when I redid everything, I was like, no, but you need to ask yourself questions. And it's so after every single chapter, there's about three or more questions that I ask you based off of, so it's the poem, and maybe for example, maybe a poem about mindset. Maybe it's the mindset of a queen, my favorite chapter 26, mindset. The mindset of a queen and the mindset of a king. So after that, you have the poetry, you have my comments, and then you have the questions that you need to ask yourself. Have you ever been in this type of situation? Did you ever overreact? Do you feel like if you handled this situation this way, you would have had a different outcome? Why do you feel that way? All of those questions matter because they're your answers. They're not for me. You can write in the book. I want you to write in this book. Like, I want you to get the book. I want you to take notes.
This is what I was going to say. Just as a marketer, I have to suggest that your next book should be a journal, a book of journal prompts, right? Because journaling,
I'm working on it's a guided journal.
Okay, perfect. Because I was gonna say my own coach is very she really believes in journaling and the power of it and how much you grow from it. And for me it was easy because as little girls we almost all write in diaries. But I found a lot of days, things that she wanted me to write about or reflect on, I would sit there and it was just blank thoughts. Like, I'm like, what am I going to write about? So I myself bought a book of journal prompts, and now I write based on what the prompt of the day is. So I think that because of the transition that I feel a person will go through reading your book, because it goes from like poetry to your thoughts to you making them question things in their life. Journal prompts is next for you. I love it.
365 days, a guided journal. You know what I mean? 365 days.
I would even start with 6 months. Change your life in 6 months, or change your mindset in 6 months. Because when it's really sad, but when someone thinks about committing to their own selves for a year, it sounds like a lot. And I've noticed that because in our coaching programs, when people are like, hey, I want to scale my business online, And it's like, okay, well, we have a 6-month or a year program. It's like everyone goes for the 6 months. No one, even when they want to become millionaires, even when they want to become rich, won't commit to themselves for more than 6 months. It's sad, but it's true. So I would start with either a 3-month journal program or a 6-month journal program, and say, you know, change your mindset in 3 months, change your mindset in 6 months with this journal.
I love it.
Yeah. Give it a shot. Well, I loved talking to you. I loved hearing this morning that you made it to the bestsellers list. I do have a client.
Next to Maya Angelou. Like,
no, I know. I said that to Sheldon. I was like, Destiny made the bestsellers list right next to Maya Angelou today.
Just to be next, like in the vicinity. Like, I'm trying to, like, you know what I mean? Like, I was like, wait. Number 69, top, like, African American.
Hello.
We got Black History Month coming up in February, so you know I'm all over this.
Yes, you need to post about it everywhere. I would repurpose some paragraphs from the book into your social media posting. Gosh, I mean, we could brainstorm so many ideas now, but take February and run with it.
Yeah.
That's awesome. All right, so tell everybody where we could find your book.
So you can find the interactive book, the paperback. So the ebook is available where they sell books. The ebook.
That's what I have. The ebook.
So the ebook is on Barnes and Nobles. It's on Amazon. But the paperback currently is only available on Amazon. I did upload to Ingram Spark for those of you aspiring authors out there who are like, where do I upload? Amazon, Ingram Spark, Draft to Digital. That is where you upload your books, and they distribute globally. So can't
they reach out to you if they want to get coached into how to write a book?
Yes, that's the whole point behind the Words of My Soul LLC, the publishing company, for me to help you. Those of you who are thinking about editing and, you know, getting an editor and things of that nature, the key thing I would look for, as far as when it comes to editing, you don't want someone who's just going to take your book and just do the grammatical errors and do a spell check. That's not what you're looking for. You want an editor that believes in your book, that understands your story. So for me, if I were to edit your book and I would have coached you on your book, I don't even want to read your book first. I want to know why you wrote this book, why this book is important.
Your why.
What do you want your audience
on that? What is your why?
Yeah. What's the message that you want to put out there? And then I want you to tell me your story behind this book. Then we'll read your book. But that would be my process that I would coach you through, because sometimes
maybe I need to write a book.
We don't understand our why.
Right. Exactly. Probably the biggest reason why
the Words of My Soul is to give
careers fail.
Yeah. Not understand, like, why are you doing?
If you don't know your why, you're not gonna love what you do.
For the money, you could. That's a whole nother conversation, but people don't, I feel like, and I was one of them, I was guilty, so I don't even, when I say people, I'm including myself. At that time, I went through a phase where I didn't really understand how money works. I didn't really understand. And then when I started to know, like, I'm just here to serve. I'm just here to help and serve, and I have this gift. I have the gift of gab, the gift of the pen. The pen is my power, for real, on so many different levels, and once I understood that, all I do is
let me ask you a question, because my coach asked me this the other day. Why do you like to serve? What do you get out of it?
The ability for my words to reach someone and hit a light bulb. The ability for someone to have an epiphany.
What about that does it for you? What about that does it for you?
It makes me feel good.
Why?
Makes me feel like worthy. It makes me feel like I'm here. You know what I mean? Like, I'm present. I'm impactful. That I have purpose. You know? And for people who are like, go through these relationships, and I can give advice, sound advice, and it can help them feel good and smile and be happy and be like, man, I feel good. That is like, there's no amount of money that could replace that feeling. when I sing in groups of people and I watch their reactions, and I'm seeing them like, wow, you know, and they're closing their eyes because they're listening to my voice, or they're listening to me speak, or someone like sends me a message and is like, wow, I don't know who you were talking to today, but I needed that message. That there's no amount of money that could replace that feeling ever. There's no amount of money. So to do anything for money, why? When your natural ability is so much greater, it's priceless. So that's
so what does that mean? What does that make your why?
It gives me joy. It allows me the ability to like raise my daughter and teach my daughter these morals. Like, you know what I mean? It just fuels my family.
Can I tell you what your why is? You have a calling to change people's lives. That's your why. It fulfills you to help others. So your why is to make a difference in whoever's life, whether it's yours, the person you're working with, your daughter, your husband. That's your why. Your why is to make a difference, to leave a mark in this universe, if you will.
Yeah.
I just said, if you will. I'm old.
Yeah.
I love that you're so emotional about what you do, because it's so genuine. You're so genuine, and what I hate is that people take advantage of that. So I'm so glad that you started your own publishing company, that your book is now on the bestseller list, because you deserve this. You said something to me this morning. You manifested this. I'm a witness to that.
I did.
I've been here for years.
You know what I told my husband?
I am a witness to that.
You know what I told my husband when you're a great starter, but you're not a good finisher? When I got my book, when the book came, I said I finished.
That's awesome. That's an awesome moment to live with him as a life partner. Like, forget his title in your life. Just as a life partner, someone that witnessed you hold yourself accountable for not finishing a project, but then actually doing it and being able to celebrate that win with someone. Yeah, that's awesome.
Because that's another thing, accountability. Like, when he told me that, I was upset at first, but I even voice recorded. I have to find that and repurpose that. But I said, Destini, who you mad at though? Is it true? You have to look at when someone tells you the truth.
Oh, I
have to look
that
at
all
who
the
that
time.
person is, what that person, where is their position in your life, and is it true?
I will fight Sheldon to the death of me. I will curse him out in my head. But when I hit that shower and it's just me,
you're like,
and the universe,
he was right.
I'm like, that bastard.
Because it's like, it's true. When you know it's true, and then you appreciate them more because they love you enough, it's hard to tell people the truth because you don't know how they're going to react. But, my husband don't care. We're going to tell you the truth. You're great. You're a great starter.
Believe me, Sheldon doesn't care. he'll because that's genuine love. When he doesn't care my reaction, he wants to make me better.
Yeah.
So he has to give me the raw truth.
All these years, sissy, and knowing the relationships and things that I've been through, and just reading the word, you know what I mean, and being able to read the words and know how I place I don't place blame on other people. I blame myself. I place myself in a situation to be taken advantage of. I place myself in situations around people to, for them to run over me. I didn't have my voice. You know what I know there's a difference between a woman, real quick. There's woman, a queen, and a goddess. A woman, she has her voice. I was a girl, I was a girl. I wasn't speaking up for myself. I became a woman. I started to use my voice. And then I became a queen. A queen has a presence. I didn't have to really say much. It was just my presence. You either hear, I remove you,
your presence is the crown.
Is an energy.
Mm-hmm.
It's an energy.
That's what I was going to, that energy. I said presence, but that energy is what your crown is.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Sissy, I'm going to let you go. I have a 1:00 client in half an hour, so let me prep her presentation. But congratulations.
Thank you so much.
I love it. And maybe we'll do this a little more, and maybe we'll read some pages to the audience next time.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, sounds good.
Love you.
Thank you.
Bye.